Welcome to Connect with Jonathan Mark. This is going to be a different episode. Typically, I always help families, whether it's from a tragic passing, but mostly with unsolved cases or missing person cases and law enforcement. But this week, I want to do something a little different, something that means a lot to me. My uncle recently passed away, and I was extremely close with him. And I just want to tribute and give him a beautiful episode because he deserves it. He deserves it after what he went through. And I won't give you all the intimate, crazy details about it, but I just want to explain to you the type of person that he was. So he was a prosecutor in a different state. For a while, that was his life. His life was work. But he always, and I mean always, made time for family. Family was the most important thing to him. And he's worked on thousands of cases and has helped the state out a lot. He never asked to be recognized. He never asked for anything. All he wanted to do was help. And he wanted to put bad people behind bars. Now, the thing that I wanted to say is before he became a lawyer, he worked in finance. And after 9/11, he had a change of heart and wanted to help. He went to law school, finished top in his class, and moved to a different state to start helping people out. And he did it quietly. He didn't want the recognition. I mean, I didn't even know he finished the top of his class until I was older. He just didn't share it with anyone. He's like, yeah, it's not really a big deal, which is literally the type of person he is. So for a while, as you guys know, just a little side note, that I do my readings at my parents' house. And I share that with every single person I read, because when I do readings, I always, say I'm going to flip the laptop around, because when I do readings, I always stare off to hyper focus and I want people to know what I'm looking at. And it's my parents' house. So he was staying with my parents. He had a liver issue where he needed a liver transplant. And he did not drink, so put him at the top of the list. And again, I learned so much about transplants and how stuff goes. And again, I still don't know a lot, but I've definitely been very educated on this topic. So he was coming back and forth to get tested, to get his numbers, to see how high they are, all these different things. But with that being said, he came to my parents' house, and it's an honor for him and an honor for myself. But really, I always joked with him saying it's an honor. But for him to stay in my childhood bedroom, it was an honor. And we would always joke around, but truly it was that he chose my room. He wanted to stay there when, growing up, and, he wanted to go there. But also what I find amazing is he really made a bad situation not seem like it was bad at all. Like it was a little remarkable. And I have to give so much credit to my parents. I mean, they were with him every single step of the way from the very beginning. Now, this has been a few-year process where he would spend a large time at my parents', go back to his house, and then come back and forth. And basically, the doctors were like, hey, you're going to get a call, and you have to jump in your car, and you have to go because it's go time. You have a certain window from when we get the liver to when it needs to be done. And at that time, I got married. He was not doing well, but he still decided to come. He went to many big events when he was not feeling well, at all, literally at all. And we've, had so many conversations. And again, I feel so lucky because, like I said, growing up, he came to every event, every holiday. He made sure that I knew I was loved by him no matter what. But I got to see him pretty much every day for a few years before he passed. There was times he went back home, of course, but I definitely got to have that quality time. And he would share stories with me. He would tell me things, and I would tell him about what's going on with me. And it was very cool because he was just so proud of the work I was doing. I mean, helping families, helping law enforcement, everything. He was just really, really happy about that. So I'm so thankful that I was able to get this time with him. Now, I want to share kind of, and again, I want to tell you like not the intimate details about what happened. And then I want to talk a little bit more about him. But so he had the liver transplant and it went well. The test went well. He rehabbed at the hospital for a few weeks. And then he came back to my parents' house where he was going to, I think, be there for like a few more months. And then he was going to consider going back there, or he didn't really know his next steps, but he was definitely going back to my parents for at least 3 to 4 months while he was recovering. I want to say a few weeks in, maybe a weekend, I go back to my house and I guess he had a situation where he needed to go to the hospital. The ambulance came and picked him up at my parents' house and he never left the hospital from that point. He was in the hospital, I want to say from June up until a couple days ago. And he fought. I mean, the stuff that he was going through, the stuff that, I can't even wrap my head around. It makes me so upset to know what he went through, but he wanted to fight. He made that clear to every person at the hospital. When every person in the hospital, they didn't doubt him. They basically were saying that there's no way of coming back from what had happened to him. Do you want to be comfortable? And he said, absolutely not. I want to fight because if there's a sliver of a chance, I'm going to take it. And he fought his ass off. I mean, I'm telling you, he fought. Every time he got kicked down to his knees, he would stand back up and he would say, okay, what are next steps? That was always his thing. What do I have to do? And what are next steps? And if I can be just half of that in every single day, I think I would be the luckiest person in the world because he showed me what true strength is. If I'm being honest with you, he showed me what true strength is. And I just am in awe of him. And I'm in awe of his positive attitude throughout the entire, process. Now, he was at a hospital called Columbia Presbyterian, and that's in New York. And they were the most amazing, there was nurses, doctors. They were just the most amazing people. And I cannot thank them enough for how they treated my uncle from when he got there to when he passed. And I'm not going to share what happened when he passed, but they were just absolutely amazing, like truly amazing. And, what's very interesting about this is, so I was planning on seeing him that Sunday morning. He passed away Saturday night. And I had plans to go to the hospital to see him. And, I had a dream that night. I had a dream where he came to me happy and healthy. And he was with my grandparents, his parents, who were big parts of my life too. And I knew in that moment that he was gone. I knew in that moment and I didn't want to let him go. And I'm going to try not to get emotional because it was, really tough. And I want to be vulnerable and honest with you guys. That's my whole thing with everything I do when it comes to working on cases on this show, or really just doing everyday readings. I knew and I was like, I can't let my nana, I can't let my grandpa go. I can't let him go. And I didn't want to because I knew that he wasn't here. And I woke up to a text message that he had passed away. And as heartbroken as I am and as I was, I also had a sense of contentment being that he was smiling, he was healthy, and he was okay. And a big thing that I think people think because I'm a medium that I should have no problem with death. And the truth is that it definitely helped me process death differently. I know this isn't it. I know that for a fact. And it definitely helps. Now, his presence not being physically here when he was such a large part of my life from being a baby and then seeing him for the last year and a half, 2 years, pretty much every day, his presence is what's hitting me the most. And what's also hitting me the most too is my childhood bedroom. Now, I told you guys I do readings at my parents' house. So I have stuff still in there and his stuff is still on my dresser, on my bed, on the floor. And it's really hard for me to come to grips with that he'll never come back to pick that up. But the one thing I'm going to say is this, is that just because they're not physically here doesn't mean that they're not here. And I even know that. Doing this every day with readings, like I said, for my clients, for cases, for whatever it is, really, it gives me a sense of relief to know like he's not in pain. And I'm telling you, that dream really helped me. It helped me in a way. And before he was even passing, his biggest thing was to make sure that we were okay. Not that he was okay, that we were okay. And if that doesn't speak volumes about who he is and who he was, then I don't know what does. I mean, he's an amazing person. So I just wanted to be open and vulnerable with you guys. You guys deserve why I've been a little quiet and MIA. I just need time to process. I'll be back to doing unsolved cases, missing person cases, and people that lost their family members tragically. That's going to resume. I just needed a moment just to collect my thoughts, to collect everything. I don't even know what to say, just to collect, I guess just what happened, because I always say this, as expected as it was just still extremely unexpected. And I think what sucks is that I was literally going to see him that Sunday morning. I had a time, I was going to leave from a place and get there in 30 minutes and spend some time with him. And that happened. And I just want to say, for everyone that's struggling, like, just know that they're okay. They're on the other side. They're with their family and they're happy and healthy. I mean, if I didn't have that dream, would I think he's not okay? Probably not. I would know he is, but it makes it so much better. But you should know, just in general, that everyone's okay on the other side. They truly are. And guys, I just want to say thank you for letting me do this episode in tribute to my uncle. And I'll see you next week, everyone.